So yeah, what you're watching right now is one of the results of the coronavirus in Thailand, where we have swarms of monkeys, rival gangs fighting each other over territory for food. So yeah, safe to say that things have gotten worse, as we've been telling you would happen on this independent media organization. And in this video, I'm not only going to try to stay on top of all the latest updates regarding the coronavirus, but specifically after just talking to some professional preppers and medical professionals, I wanted to give off some tips in detail about preventative measures that you could take at home to, again, hopefully try to stop the spread of this virus, which again I view as a serious virus. Even though there will be individuals using this virus for their own agenda, this virus is still very real. And that's why I'll be going over actions that you could take, because individual actions do matter, as we see countries like Japan and Singapore successfully battle this, while other countries like Iran, Italy, being utterly devastated by it, with the United States on the same trajectory as them. So yeah, these are definitely going to be important tips. Definitely share this video. If you want more in-depth coverage about the coronavirus, we are releasing more videos on our backup channel, Change the News, specifically when it comes to the larger, bigger economic ramifications of this. We just covered the Bitcoin crash, the $1.5 trillion Fed pump that didn't work, and a lot more. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button for the second channel. And since every one of our videos where we talk about the coronavirus is getting demonetized, downranked in the algorithm, and not shown to people, your support is more crucial than ever on wearechange.org/donate, which we rely to continue our operation. Now, just jumping right into it, what we have is a very unpredictable, fast-moving situation that I'm doing my best to stay on top of. We have a whole entire playlist where you could track the entire trajectory of this virus from the very beginning when it first emerged in the media reports. We'll have that playlist in the description below so you could click it and get caught up. But one thing that is very clear about everything, and that is certain, is that your actions and government actions matter. Again, Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan hit with the coronavirus earlier, and now they have fewer than 200 cases, while France, Germany, and Spain, and in some regards Iran, Italy, and soon to become the United States, were hit later, and they have gained 10 times those numbers. And that's a big, dramatic difference. And this is incredibly important since many people predict the situation to get worse from here. As even the infectious disease expert that recently came out on a video with Joe Rogan came out and said that this epidemic will go on for up to 6 months, saying that we're going to be in some hurt for the next few months, adding that just breathing air is likely the primary way of getting this virus. He also specifically said how quarantining people on cruise ships is an absolutely bad idea, since of course the same air is being circulated in their ventilation system, and this virus does survive in the air and has been found in many AC and ventilation units. He even went on to say that hand washing most of the time won't be effective. This, of course, is a direct contradiction from everything we've been hearing from the authorities and the mainstream media. But it is clear that this virus can live on surfaces for up to 3 days, and according to many experts, this still works in some capacity. And even though this infectious disease expert Michael Osterholm says it might be ineffective, I still think, especially if you have contact with other individuals, if you're outside or if you're shaking hands, I still think it's worth washing your hands. And as one person puts it, it is effective as it stays the coronavirus on surfaces for much longer than it does in aerosol form. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And I agree with that. Other things that I heard from the medical professionals and preppers that I've been personally talking to is that UV light works with eliminating some part of the virus. My friends also recommended that people do not clip their nose hairs and to keep them long, that they leave their shoes outside before coming into their home, still continue to wash their hands for at least 30 seconds, especially if they've been outside, but to also allow the place that you live in to be ventilated and to keep some windows open to allow for proper ventilation. Now again, I am not a medical professional. These are some of the tips that were told to me by other people that I personally know. Will this work? Will this be effective? One could only hope, but I would still rather take these preventative measures. I'd rather still take my chances doing these small little actions rather than, of course, to regret it later. And it's going to be very important in the early onset of this not to overwhelm the medical system that is incapable and undersupplied to handle a huge surplus of people all at once. If there's a way to prevent the spread of this disease, to prolong, to hold off, to postpone some of the infections from taking place, they are well worth the effort, since it will make the ultimate difference if people can be treated or not, since Italy already is being devastated and many patients are being put in a very difficult situation, only being able to depend on themselves and not medical professionals who aren't able to help them. Now, this is also a helpful diagram to help you understand if you could potentially be having a cold, the flu, or this new COVID-19 virus, which again is affecting different people in many strange ways. Some get it, some are fine, some are asymptomatic, don't show any symptoms at all, and still are able to transmit it to other people. And because of that, this pandemic will grow. There will be more travel restrictions in the futures, and there will be more very prominent people affected by this, as we're learning right now that the Prime Minister of Canada is under self-quarantine, self-isolation, as his wife is being tested for the coronavirus right now. Obviously, everyone learned about Tom Hanks last night, and of course the major moves made by Donald Trump. But are those major moves enough? And some of the people that I'm talking to say it's not. Now, if we look at the successful cases, especially with Hong Kong and Singapore, they were able to avoid the explosive outbreaks that happen in Iran and Italy, and many predict will soon happen in the United States, because they very aggressively screened, tested, quarantined, and locked down their territories. They quickly set up systems to identify and treat each case, rapidly deploying diagnostic tests to labs in every major city, quarantining everyone with the possibility of interacting with a person with this case, while of course covering all the healthcare related costs of this disease. And only some of those actions on a limited scale were done last night by US President Donald Trump. Now, Colorado also just opened up its first drive-through COVID-19 testing facility, which is something that countries in Asia have also implemented and has worked tremendously in helping stop the burden on medical professionals from getting sick themselves, which is something that should be utilized nationwide. And again, this is something serious, and I've told you many reasons why geopolitically, especially with China's actions, why this should be taken seriously. And the people who don't take it seriously put other people's lives at risk. And let's just be honest here, there's a lot of idiots out there, including air passengers who are deliberately coughing on people because they're sick of waiting on planes. There's NBA player Rudy Gobert, who is making a joke by touching everything in the locker room, including microphones from reporters, joking that he was going to spread the coronavirus, and then next day testing positive for the coronavirus, which is spreading around his teammates. So yeah, we also have to remember that human beings aren't perfect. There are a lot of idiots out there, and a lot of them are in government, as we have covered in great detail. The government incompetency that has escalated this problem. The State Department flying back sick people with healthy people against direct CDC orders. Tests not being available. Bureaucracy, regulation standing in the way from actually finding out who is sick and who is not. And now this bombshell that we're finding out that thousands of flu samples were stopped by the CDC, tests that were going to be tested for the coronavirus, because the CDC wouldn't allow it. Again, because of red tape, ignorance, and idiocy from other human beings that think that they're in charge of your life. Even high up level government officials like the president and vice president are contradicting themselves, showing very poor communication. Donald Trump saying that he will not allow Americans with the virus back in, while the vice president says, sure, all Americans with the virus will be allowed to come back home. Again, no coordination, no organization, and these are the individuals telling us that everything will be okay. And again, the level of people that will be affected by this will be surprising. Even a top aide of the Brazilian president stood next to Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago not so long ago, just tested positive for this virus. The one country that's not blocked from the European travel ban is the United Kingdom, with some of the highest infection rates in all of Europe, while Donald Trump says that they're doing a great job fighting the coronavirus. And guess what? They're not, because they're not following the basic pandemic protocols that should be followed, that are followed by other countries. But because they're not, the situation will get surely out of hand. People will die and people will be hurt. And that's just the truth here. And it's a very uncomfortable one, but sadly, I don't see things getting better from here. So I really, really do hope that the people that we told weeks and weeks and weeks ago from the very beginning of this to prepare, that you did prepare. Again, this is a very uneasy situation. If you think I'm wrong in any way, if you want to fact check me in any way, please let me know in the comment section below if you think I'm wrong about something. Again, I've been diligently following this extremely closely. I've been barely sleeping, and to me this is pretty serious, so I hope you also take this serious as well. If you think I'm wrong, let me know why in the comment section below. Please respond with facts. There's a lot of people just saying chill, fear-monger, and again, you look from the very beginning of how we covered this, we weren't wrong. Please, if you have anything counter to what I just provided, counter it with evidence. Please, I'm all ears. Trust me, I'll probably take a look at it. I'm doing all the research and homework for you so you don't have to. But that's my assessment for right now, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And only because of you watching and being here with me am I able to do this for you. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.